Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Of course, this is Comics News Today, and I am your host, Chester C. Busby III. Very happy to be here with you guys as usual. Do keep in mind that we have all our links down below. Check them out. Not least of which is, of course, the Immortal Mask from Dinale. So definitely go check out and be part of his mailing list, please. But one of the things that we appreciate the most over here is you guys hitting that share button and letting your family and friends and extended community know what's going on so they can come and join us, guys. Boy, there has been a lot of storm clouds and noise going on around us all over the place. But as you guys know, we don't get into that crap. We go and laugh at idiots in Hollywood because that's a lot more fun. But today we're definitely going to be getting into some interesting news, as you can tell from the title of today's show. But we'll get to that in a moment. First thing I want to do is come over and say hello to our panel that we have here today. We're very excited to have, of course, the most oily, the most flightless birdie human on the planet, I would say. Booster.
It's me, it's Booster. I made it today. I'm very happy to be here. I'm not depressed.
Not at all. Not at all. You're
No.
never depressed,
I love
except
I
for
love being here
99% of the
against my
time.
will.
It's true. Yeah.
hmm
So,
hmm
so what is our beverage of the morning for you?
Water.
Water. God,
I ran out of Mountain Dew.
it's a bad day for sure.
I mean, I have some cider, but I think it's too early to be drinking cider.
You take
We do
that back,
enjoy it
sir.
when
You
you do
take that
drink your
back.
cider early, though. That's a lot more. You're a
hmm
funner booster when you're drunk, actually. Uh, but
Oh,
uh,
how am I just? Well, that's before all the crying starts, and I start going, "Ah, why did I leave her?" That's that. No one needs to hear that.
no, we don't need to hear that. And I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure how her and tomatoes come together, but I'm sure it's an interesting story. Mhm, mhm.
I'll tell you all about it after the stream.
I get it. All right, rock on. All right, guys. I see we do have Rebel Comics in here. Hello, we got Roger Heller as well. Nick W saying hi to everybody. Eric Hawkins as well. Hey, Eric, I got one of your Facebook posts I'm going to be showing today. So you're guilty or not guilty, whatever. The whole world's going to blame you. Mr. Thundero's in here as well. Hello, everybody. He says, hello, good evening, everyone. He says, Shinobi Raccoon. Cool name. Love that. But of course, guys, you know we're also joined by the most llama-ness of the Denali llamas. Hey, dude.
Hey, aloha, guys. Thank you for being here. As Chester said, join my mailing list for the Immortal Mass.
Hmm.
Project's going on smoothly, and I'm very happy with the process that's going on. And it's raining over here. And it's raining in Twitter. It's raining in outside.
It's raining
I
everywhere.
just can't, it's raining everywhere. I can't escape it.
Oh
But
yeah,
we're gonna have
yeah, sure. But by the way, Denali, just keep in mind you are not Polynesian. You're not allowed to say aloha. Uh, Next, of course,
fun.
guys, we have the Canadian George.
That's right. That's right. Um, I am very sad right now.
Okay,
Very, very sad because I lost a mental challenge.
elaborate.
That's it. I don't know where it went. It's just lost it.
All right. All right. Thank you, George.
I want to hear more about this mental challenge. What is? No,
Yeah, I know.
no, you can't just leave us with that. What kind of mental challenge were you a part of, George?
I don't know. I lost it.
You lo- you,
Yeah, right. Moving on, we also have the artist extraordinaire in here with us. So we got Todd Mulrooney. How you doing, dude? And he's muted again. The lack of
Sorry,
professionalism.
sorry. I'm doing really good. I just got a little sneak peek here at our logo for a new channel that we're building.
Hmm.
It has currently 21 creators involved, and we hope to bring you hours and hours of content that is drama free, fun, and comic centric.
Sweet. Sounds good, dude. Looking forward to see what you guys are doing. Actually, it's always nice to see these kind of conflab type of channels come together where a lot of people trying to do
uh-huh,
stuff. It's
hmm
fun, you know.
hmm It's real nice. Everyone wants to do the drama-free approach. We've been doing it for about a year now. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
That's cool. No one gives us props for it. But whatever.
That's true.
That's
That's all
neat.
right. Hey, dude, we just do what we do, and things will pay off in the end. If you take
By
that short
I'm
road,
virtue,
about to start some drama in here in a bloody minute.
yeah, by virtue of you being in here, there's drama.
this is true. This is true. But then nice to have you here, Todd. And of course, last but certainly not least, we have the rare hermit himself, Mr. Pixel Trader.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like a hermit lately, man. I tell you what, it's been a hell of a week. But got a lot of good stuff coming down the pipe. I've got Cover Crashers
Mhm.
probably launching Friday. I'm actually a little leery just because of all the stuff that's been going on lately. I'm not sure it's the best time to launch it, but I think I'm going to go for it anyway. But there's also a bunch of new stuff. There's been whispers and things going on. A few people have talked about it. I think Doc probably came on here and talked about Insider before.
He
Got
did.
some big names
He
attached
did.
to it now.
Yeah.
Got a lot of big content coming in, and it's going to be awesome.
You have little names too.
Yes, we do have little names, and the little names are actually going to be the ones that do the most work. I think we've got the big names are mostly going to be on the art side of things. I think more than anything else. But yeah, there's a lot of good content that's being put together, and I'm really happy to finally see this thing moving. It's been about a year in progress that getting all the planning and printing ideas and all that kind of stuff figured out and finally coming to fruition.
Yeah, I think it's fun, dude.
Yeah,
Especially for some of us, the opportunity to do some magazine stuff, man. I haven't done a magazine article in God decades, dude. Um,
yeah,
uh, so of course I was writing on boring stuff before, but I'm definitely going to give my crack at it, and there's a bunch of other people giving their crack as well. So it's I think it's really fun, dude. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, guys, thank you all for being here. We definitely have some interesting things to get to in the news today. But as you see in the title of this show, we're going to get to something straight away, if you don't mind. Let me come over here and share with everybody so that I don't forget to do that. Sometimes I do. You know how it is. But I'm going to go over to my news, and you guys just white box me if you want to see. I'm going to start off with Eric Hawkins actually post on the Fanspeak, and boom. Oh, goodness gracious. I do apologize for the language. But let me read this here. F. Stanley. So what if he's dead? He's still a racist thief and an appropriator of culture, just like that jerk Sobalski. If I ever work at Marvel, I'll tear down as much of Stan Lee's so-called legacy as possible. Now, this has been going back and forth for what? A day? A little bit less, and you have people say it's fake, it's not fake, it's fake, it's not fake. Here's the proof. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Here's the point: it doesn't matter if it's fake. Who cares? This lady keeps writing this kind of stuff all the time. It doesn't matter if this particular tweet is real because she has dozens and dozens of other ones that are just as hateful. Right? And here's the thing, point I want to make, as you saw in the title here. Alyssa Wong is not Asian. She's an American girl. Now, if you come over and you look at her, just some random pictures and stuff of her, we got here. Oh, here she is. Oh, look at all these lovely little pictures,
Chester,
little girl. Oh,
you're not
look, I'm a
you're not
Filipina.
showing the pictures.
How am I not?
I'm sorry to break your little flow, but apparently that's not what you're share screening,
Really?
screen sharing.
Well, let me do it
Yeah.
again then. I'm going to go back
I'm
over.
I'm
yeah,
sorry to break the flow, but
No, you
yeah.
that work that time?
no, you're showing Pixel Trader's cover crashes.
Which I don't mind, by the way.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, it's good publicity for Pixel, but we're not showing the actual
All
thing.
right, hold on a
Yeah,
second. I can fix
Oh, we
it.
gotta blow up everything.
No, I
yeah.
can fix it. I'm
Covercrashers.com.
fixing it.
Fix
It's
this now! There it is. We
fixed
got it.
it.
We got
I'm
it, boys.
fixing it.
Oh, and we're doxing people while we're at it. Goodness me.
Sweet. All right, here we go. We're not doxing anybody. All right, so here's the
Mike,
thing. You guys
Nick,
all know the
Nick is
tweet.
saying Chester. Nick is saying
All right, here we go.
Chester's showing
Boom.
a lot of
Now, here's the pictures I was talking about. See all these lovely little pictures of her. Oh, little baby one, and I don't know if they're all the same girl. They don't look like the same girl. But this one's definitely her, right? And I am Filipina, but it's like, are you Filipino or are you Chinese? Well, the reality is she's neither. She is an American girl. And I'm guessing by the way she talks, an American lesbian girl. Okay, which is fine. So here's the thing. By her logic, you can only write American, Asian, lesbian stuff. Don't touch anything else. You can't do black girls. You can't do Chinese girls. You can't do German men. You can't do any of it because of your logic. All you can do is American lesbian girls. If she's a lesbian, I think she is. It doesn't really matter, but we'll give her that category as well. And of course, this logic that she's working on is insane. It's just stupid, right? It's not how the world works, and it's certainly not how a writer works. If you actually limit writers down to they can only do themselves, you've killed anything going forward, right? But this person, this Alyssa Wong, and many others, she's not alone. There's a whole bunch of them, right? And she just goes on and on and on about her identity politics when all along she's not even an Asian herself, right? I mean, like I've said before, I have Irish, Scottish, and Norwegian ancestry in me. I am not those things. I can respect those things. I can study about my history and the ancestry of my the the heredity of my family, sure, but I'm not those things. I'm an American. I'm a New Englander, more specifically. Right. And here's the thing, I've spent half my life in Asia. I speak Asian language. Does she? Right? In truth, I have more authority, if we're going to go that route, to cover these kind of stories than she does because I know more about it. I live in the culture. And people are going on and on about whether her tweet is true or not. It doesn't matter. Look at all the other stuff she tweets. This is a hateful, nasty identity politics person, and there's no way CB should have hired her. I don't care that she made specific hateful tweets toward him. It doesn't matter. In general, she shouldn't have been hired because this person has very narrow vision and has nothing but hate in her heart. Okay, so it doesn't matter if the tweet is true or not. She is what she is, and it's nonsense.
Well,
Now,
how's that any different than CB?
well, I mean, but CB is we know that CB's not really the boss. I mean, everybody understands that. CB has been yelled at by this woman and many other people for daring to use a Japanese nom de plume. But the fact of the matter is, he loves Japan. He knows a lot about Japan. He understands the culture. What's wrong with him being part of the culture? Japanese certainly don't care, you know. And I know a lot of Filipinos and Chinese quite well, and I know they don't care either. It's just you, little girl, right? It's just you. So anybody have an opinion on this? Wow. All right. I'm alone.
Akira Yoshida.
Oh yeah, that thing.
I, I,
But I mean,
I just find TB's pin name really funny. That's all I have to say.
yeah, but I mean, he's showing respect to the culture with that pen name, right? Because he
As
loves
Booster
it.
said yesterday, everything about this dialogue is very Wong.
Yeah, right. Oh wow, a dad joke that hit. Uh,
You
Thunder.
can't make those kind of jokes, George. Me nor Reiki.
Oh, goodness gracious. Thundero makes a really
Ooh.
good point. He says, a filthy racist who works for Marvel. Wait, a new filthy racist works at Marvel. Aha, okay. Yeah, fair point. They keep hiring him over and over. But I just wanted to mention it because everyone's all abuzz about this one tweet. You got Jeremy over at the quartering saying he thinks it's true. You got Engeltine saying it's fake. And you have everybody in between making their opinions. But my point is, I don't think it matters if it's true or not. It doesn't matter. Look at the body of her voice. She is a hateful,
Hmm.
nasty person who isn't even what she portrays herself to be. She's not. She's a silly little vapid millennial. I don't know if they still call them millennials, but vapid millennial American girl. She's not even Asian. Even though and it's kind of funny. And this is kind of I think where white people get themselves in trouble in a way. We don't really attach ourselves to our culture, our ancestral cultures very much, particularly we Americans or Canadians or something like that. We might do a little research or make comment offhand, but we don't attach ourselves to it. Where a lot of other racial groups in the planet, and understand there's 42 different racial groups on the planet. They really attach themselves to their ancestry, and they're very, very proud of it. I mean, look at the Mexicans, for instance. Mexicans are what? They're a mix of the Spanish and the Aztec peoples, right? And they're very proud of that, man. And they stand behind it. They talk about it all the time. They never shut up about it, right? And a lot of all the other cultures kind of do that. And what you see in America is, where even though the white people don't do that as much, you get a lot of Americans who will just latch themselves on to the ancestry, and particularly Asian girls. I see do this a lot. Not the boys, the girls. I don't know what it is, but they just have this vision of themselves being some Asian thing, which is better than their American selves, which may be true in some cases, may not be in others, but they really attach themselves to it. And the thing I just wanted to, I don't know if anyone will hear this, or maybe YouTube will just ban this show offhand because I dare to put her name in the title. I don't know. But the simple thing is, dear, you're not Asian either, right?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Look, that tweet was definitely fake.
That's
I
fine.
just have to put that out there. Everyone who's like freaking out over it is like the worst bloody thing of all time. It doesn't take very. You don't have to look at it for very long to see it's fake, right?
Hmm.
It's silly. Not even the font's barely even right.
Yeah,
It's a
I don't. But
terrible
see,
ratio.
I don't care
Yeah,
that
if it
it's
was
fake.
real, there would be multiple archives of it, and it would have been addressed a very long time ago.
Uh-huh.
Well,
But
Booster said
But I'm.
a key thing: the font. If you look at it,
Mm,
the font is not even close to being
yeah.
the original Twitter font. It's
But
condensed.
I understand though. She
Condensed.
still absolutely should not be hired. She is a nasty little thing, regardless of whether or not that tweet is real. I can agree with that, Chester.
yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't matter to me whether it's true or not. It doesn't. If you just go look at the body of her voice, her
Mm,
social media and the things she says, she's a nasty, nasty little brain dead millennial, or SJW, whatever you want to call her. That's what she is. They have no understanding of the world. They're little children speaking to the void and expecting the void to show them respect for doing so. That's what they are. And she's just another idiot. And it's like, why are you doing this, Marvel? Stop hiring these children who know nothing. Hire some professionals. I mean, if we go over to Marvel and we take a look at the age demographic going on over there, I wonder what it is. I wonder where it skews. Anybody want to put a guess at what the average age of the worker in Marvel is right now?
Did they even hit puberty?
No, they're young, dude. They're very young.
20s.
Yeah, 20s. And the thing
Ugh.
is, there's nothing wrong with having young people in as apprentices and learning to do the craft. But where's the old people? Where's the people with experience who know what they're doing, the professionals? Where are they? They're nowhere to be found, right? You go over to DC, you find them, and that's why DC is tolerable. Because even though there's some crazy things going on over there, there's also some very solid things going on with DC. Marvel is just a freaking train wreck, and it's because they're all kids. And
Yeah. Yeah.
where's your professionals? Hey, Slick Jimmy. What's going on, dude? Anyway, I am going to move forward, though. Let me catch up on some of this chat right here. McCrank says, you know she's American because of how race obsessed she is. Right. No, I went and researched her before I made my statement, dude. People outside of America only care about nationality. Koreans and Japanese are Asians, but confuse a Japanese for a Korean, and oh boy, oh well, especially Korean for a Japanese. But then again, the Koreans are the French of the frickin' Asia, dude. They never shut their damn mouth. Um, they are, dude. They are. And the Chinese are like the British of Asia. They're conniving and lying and twisting truths and trying to manipulate everything like the damn British do all the time. So there are analogs over here in Asia. And that's the thing that I'm going on about. Now, of course, I'm older and I have a lot of experience, but that aside, if you really look at it, I have more right, more authority to sit and talk about Asian things than she does. And there's not a drop of Asian in me. My kids got half, but not me, because I live here. I'm part of this culture, right? Anyway, let's move on. I just wanted to kind of touch that because I really think people are making the wrong argument. It doesn't matter if that tweet's not real or not. Focus on her and look into her just for a half a second. You'll see exactly how toxic she is. She's really bad. And it's like, why are you bringing more of this nonsense into Marvel when you should be reducing it? Moving on. Oh no, it's Bruce. It looks very much like Bruce too. Denali.
So from Geekdom News, this article was, or this topic was making around a couple days ago, where Bruce Lee's daughter called out the movie for the portrayal of her father, Bruce Lee, in the Tarantino film, saying, she understands that it's just a fictional version of her father, but she said that how he was portrayed was completely off base. He wouldn't be seeking out fights. He wouldn't be seeking out, being pompous. That wasn't Bruce Lee in the slightest. So she kind of felt uncomfortable seeing the portrayal of her father, who she's been working hard with his foundation and keeping his memory alive, being left like this and expecting people who has no idea about Bruce Lee and what he really represented, what he really was dedicating to, be distilled into this fictional pumped ass.
Okay.
Paraphrase.
All right.
Yeah.
Have we not been ass kissing Bruce Lee for the past few decades enough that we can't even have one little parody of the guy without some fake outrage? That's freaking ridiculous, man.
True. And of
It's
course, Tarantino's just having the happiest day when she said that because it's exactly what he wanted, right?
Mhm.
Because do keep in mind, this is a Tarantino film. You guys know
Yeah.
that, right?
Right.
And it brings with all the vapid asshole-nish that comes with a Tarantino film. And of course, what she's upset with is because he is haughty in it, and he gets. I think mainly she's upset because Brad Pitt kicks his butt, actually. But I don't know. How do you guys stand on Bruce Lee? Is he the greatest thing ever, or is he overblown? What do you guys think?
I think
I
for
don't know.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. I actually liked Bruce Lee. I liked the movies. I enjoyed it. Compared to current martial artists, I sometimes wonder what his talent really was because a lot of the demonstrations and things he did, well, especially the movies, people were pulling punches and stuff all the time. But I mean, he's proven over time through demonstrations and things that he's a fairly talented martial artist. But um, I I think he's a little too praised, to be honest. I think the mystery around the way that he died, and then his son dying, and just the whole lore around the guy, I think has made him larger than life.
Yeah,
And
I think so. Yeah.
I still like his movies, but I don't think he's compared to somebody like Jet Li, for instance. I
Yeah.
don't. There's way better martial artists, or at least comparable martial artists
Sure.
that don't get as much recognition.
Well, Li Ling Shang, which you just mentioned, Jet Li, he's a wushu guy, which is a theatrical show fighting anyway. But
Yeah,
I always saw Bruce somewhere between Li Ling Shang and Jackie Chan. He's somewhere in the middle, as far as
Well,
his martial capabilities compared to his entertainment value. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
so I'll go with this first statement before I move on with my second statement, which is, it doesn't matter what the outrage is. That's her father. And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if she feels uncomfortable. It would be like somebody making fun of Chester and his daughter standing up for him.
Oh no, she'd laugh
And
along with you. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but just to put a comparable
Sure.
example,
Yeah.
it would be any kid standing up for their parents. It doesn't matter, if it's Bruce Lee or, the old man from the grocery store. Children are always going to defend their parents. And I know some of you are disagreeing with that because of your own experience, but for those who have actually good parents and parents that inspires others,
Sure.
they will always defend their parents regardless if
Mhm.
they're making fun of them, if they feel that they're being disrespected, especially with the Asian culture, they will stand up. And this is something that she's doing. She can logically understand what's happening. Emotionally, it's hitting home, and
Mhm.
she didn't like that. That's my first statement on that. So I will always agree on the side of the family. Even if you make fun of that person, and that other family member feels that crossed the line to the memory of it, then I will err to the side of the family because the
Mm.
family knows better, and that's them hitting personally.
Yeah, I get
And if
that.
it's yeah,
Yeah, I get that.
the,
Yeah.
the
But
second
she's not
part,
Asian either.
no, but that's still her father.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'm just joking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second.
Second part, um, he is actually a martial artist, unlike Jet Li and Jackie Chan. He actually fought to the death. Those legends that they are saying, "Oh, he did that." That's actually understated. I think there was one of the actors who's actually a real life martial art instructor. They said a lot of these MMA guys that said that they would be able to whip Bruce Lee, they never seen Bruce Lee actually fight in the movies. That's Bruce Lee going slow. Me
Mhm.
and six other trained boxer street fighter.
He's a street
Different
fighter. That's
disciplines.
exactly what he
Yeah,
is. Yeah, and
yeah,
because Jackie
exactly.
is a circus guy, and Li Ling Chang
Mhm.
is a theatrical martial artist,
I,
tournament
I,
martial artist. Yeah.
I can back up Dinale's statements firsthand or secondhand, so to speak.
Mhm.
When I was in high school, I was trained by Master Wong, who was the Korean bad guy in Return of the Dragon. No, the one where he goes to Italy and fights Chuck Norris.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's
Game of
that?
Death, I think it's called.
No, no, no. There's Enter the Dragon and Return of the Dragon.
Okay,
So,
whatever.
well, my master actually one time actually told us about no his experiences with Bruce Lee, and he said pretty much exactly what Dinale said. The stuff that you see on screen was a fraction of the man in his talent
Mhm.
in martial arts.
Well, we do know that his father sent him to America because he was born in America, because his father was afraid he was going to die because he was in this. He's a thug and he was in street fighting all the time. His dad sent him away to try to save his life. Actually, I mean, we know that. But I mean, it's not. I think it's fun talking about Bruce Lee and all, but that's not what Tarantino was doing. Tarantino, of course, he wants to belittle Bruce Lee. He likes belittling everything and everyone. That's what he does. He wants to shock you. Because he thinks the blood and guts and death and the depravity is fun. And I don't disagree with him, I guess, but this is simply Tarantino being Tarantino. And I respect her opinion. It's cool. You know. Uh,
Actually, there is one thing that everyone misses here
mm,
is the context of the scene in comparison to the movie. Tarantino needed to show Brad Pitt was a badass.
yeah, yeah,
So taking down Bruce Lee was a setup for the ending.
yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, and it's freaking Tarantino. I have to say, this actor they got here was someone had said his name up here a minute ago. Fei Long. Nick W says, I don't know if he's being serious, but maybe that's the actor's name. He's really close to Bruce. His jawline is
It's
a
Mike.
little off, but it's really close, dude.
Yeah, yeah. It's Mike Ma.
Mike
Yeah,
Ma. Okay.
Yeah,
Fei,
and he
Fei Long
and
is a character in Street
That's
Fighter.
just because you think
yeah.
Asian
I
look
see.
like you, racist.
Actually, I
Uh,
know better. But I don't know. Anybody got anything else they want to say on this? Any comments from Todd or Pixel?
Come on, we loved, and it's funny because I just saw this in a movie, but we, for whatever reason, to us, Evil Knievel was some kind of superhero.
Oh, I loved Evie
Bruce
Knievel.
Lee
Yeah.
was larger than life.
Hmm.
So these are our iconic symbols for certain things. As much as karate movies and kung fu movies I watch, nothing compared to the type of movies, the fighting that were in his movies.
Yeah.
All the other movies were whimsical, touching, like they're running across trees and all that kind of stuff. So his always seemed a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
And granted, they turned up the frame rate and stuff like that, but it was always more eye catching to me.
Yeah, and another thing, keep in mind what Tarantino is doing with this film. He's talking about the death of an era in that, but he's also making a modern comparison to the death of Hollywood today. That's what he's doing. He's making a comparison between the end of that period and the end of right now. This is his deep thought in the movie, and of course, we know that with the death of Bruce Lee, it was shocking. It moved the world, and of course, the lucky thing for us that maybe I don't know if everybody knows, but at that time when he died, there were so many clones of Bruce Lee coming up trying to profit off of his death. You had Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lie. I mean, there were many of them, right? Just spelled differently. And there was an interesting little thing that happened. because Jackie Chan was actually in an extra in a couple of his movies, and he was part of, he's part of the Hong Kong action movie groups. And his agent, he was thinking that he should try to change his name to Bruce something and try to capitalize as well. But his agent came at him and said, "No, no, 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 you shouldn't do that. You have this comedy leaning to you. You should go that route. You should go that route. You should always be Jackie Chan." And his agent talked him into it, so he continued forward being Jackie Chan instead of becoming Bruce something. So we were really close to not having Jackie as we know him. So in a way, his death gave us Jackie Chan because it opened up the space. Imagine if Bruce went on to do the Iron Ring and the other things he wanted to do, he would have sucked up the air out of everybody else, and we wouldn't have got Jackie. As we know him, and that's and I'm not saying yay, he's dead. I'm just saying that's it is kind of interesting point. You got anything to add to this, Pixel?
No, not really. I mean, like I said before, I really respected him as a martial artist, and I really still enjoy the movies. In fact, I don't know if anybody. Oh, my cat's talking now. See, my cat even likes Bruce Lee. Exactly.
No,
Okay.
Bruce is awesome.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Always a good kitty. Yes.
he's a bad kitty because he wants to talk all the time. Pluto.tv has a channel dedicated to martial arts movies. And so I'm constantly watching like Hong Kong action theater type stuff. And anytime I come back and watch a Bruce Lee movie, I think Todd mentioned it. It's a whole different level.
Yeah.
And I love it. But sometimes I still think he's overrated. I don't know. I think it's just the production value of movies then versus now, where you feel the impact a lot more because of the way they cut the scenes and stuff. Like you think about Daredevil. So I know it's completely fake, but that fight scene in the hallway, and I think season 1, that was one of the most brutal fight scenes I'd ever seen. Not really martial art technical.
It was beautiful.
But
yeah.
But you look at that, but then you go and look at some of the fight scenes and stuff from Bruce Lee's movies. They didn't feel as draining or as strong because he's like the Terminator. He's just walking through people for the most part.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a different era, different type of movie, different type of thing. I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Bruce Lee. I love his movies, and I get it. He's not actually a martial art god. He's not, but he was a real fighter who had practical experience. He was very fast. He was very skilled, and he was very charismatic. Bruce Lee's awesome. The Thundero here has a comment. He says Lee and Norris trained, sparred together often. Norris was once the best fighter in his discipline in the world. You don't get to train with someone of that caliber if you aren't very capable yourself. Yeah, and of course, Chuck Norris has nothing but praise for Bruce Lee as well in that manner. And of course, Chuck Norris is a very interesting figure because you guys know that he was a military guy. He, of course, the military adopted karate from the Japanese and put it into the military training. And he was actually over here in Asia. And of course, before Chuck Norris became the legend that he won many titles. He was a karate champion. And we're not talking about the little kata and little things. I'm talking about in the ring with gloves type of fighting. So Chuck Norris is a real deal, and then he went on to make movies as well. And of course, we love Chuck Norris. But yeah, fair point. And Chuck does say great things about Bruce Lee. Cool. Well, we got to talk about Bruce Lee, but I can't believe we have never talked about Bruce Lee on the show yet. That just was wrong. I do apologize, everybody. Moving on. Uh-oh.
Yep. So this is from GameSpot. The Russo brothers seem to have forgotten what Captain America movies were about. So basically, what the article is talking about is actually the spoilers for those who have not seen Avenger Endgame, and I doubt that there's anybody in this panel that hasn't seen Endgame, where he ends up with Peggy. So they're saying, based on the character growth and character traits of what you were doing at the, Captain America, First Avenger, the Winter Soldier, the Civil War, that progression, it seemed highly unlikely for that character to stay with Peggy and do that time traveling thing, which I think we mentioned this on the show.
We did.
Before.
We did.
Yeah.
It's a complete departure from Captain America's character. And of course, this article actually does cover this little thing with this is Peggy's granddaughter or something like that, right?
Niece. Yeah.
Niece. Okay.
Hot niece.
Yeah, hot niece. And it was like they were going to go somewhere with that. So why didn't they continue that? right? But what happened here, I think, is pretty easy. There's two things. One, the people who making the movies are not the comic book fans. They do not read the comics, guys. We know this is true. There's a team of people that try to keep them on canon, but they don't know anything about them. They said, "Oh, wouldn't it be sweet if he went back to his Peggy love, his first love?" That's what that was, right? And of
Mhm.
course, you also had like we've talked about, there was obviously a team of people. It's like, okay, this is the end of it. These characters aren't very popular. We need to find some way to lift them up. Oh, I know. Oh, okay. Let's tear all the ones we've been building up for the past 10 years down, and then everyone will love the new ones. That's what we'll do, and that's what happened. Right? They completely betrayed the character of Captain America in Endgame. This article is covering stuff we've already talked about just in depth. It's a fun little article. You guys might want to go read it. Yeah, it's just we know. Well, of course, I don't know 100%, but I'm telling you, that's what happened, and that because it
Right.
seems like logical Hollywood to me, at least what they call logic.
Right. The reason why I brought it up is I feel like this is a canary in the mine
Hmm.
kind of deal because GameSpot are one of those types of sites that follows the trends and follows the voices. When we say, "Oh, they're shilling for this company" or whatever. So this article coming from GameSpot from all places is
Hmm.
actually kind of shocking unto itself.
Well, okay, did you guys see the article the other day? I didn't read it or check it out. I didn't know, so I don't really know what it meant. But I did see some little article pop up from somebody, and it said that the next Captain America is not going to be the Falcon. It's going to be a woman.
Hell
That's what I
you
saw.
say.
That's what they. I didn't like I said. I didn't really pay much attention to the article, so I'm not sure what it was about. But I'm asking
Okay.
if you guys saw that.
Better not.
I think it's just all rumors at the moment.
Maybe.
It
But I
better
mean, there's no need for it, right? Just
It's
bring
too
in the
early.
Patriot Girl, right? I mean, they're making a TV show for her anyway. I mean, she's Captain America-esque. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. She's got red, white, blue on her. Nobody? Okay. Anybody have a comment on
not.
this article?
They better not do that. I tell you that. That'd be ridiculous.
Why? They're making Lady Thor in the movies. They're making Black Ariel. You think they have any compunction about doing stuff like that, dude?
No, but the Lady Thor thing is a story that, if you read the story, it's not that bad. It was
Yeah.
just a
No one bought
it
it.
happened.
It didn't make any
No,
money. It was hated and
no,
despised by the community. Okay. Uh-huh.
because obviously nobody wants their Thor to be anything but Thor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, that's just the obvious thing. But as far as the story go, to save somebody's life who was worthy of their life being saved, da 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 da, whatever.
Hmm.
But to just go, hey, our Captain America is old and he can't be Captain America anymore, so we're just gonna throw a girl in there. That's not a story.
No, it's
Okay,
I'll
a
tell you
difficult
what.
politic.
What I think is bloody disgusting is that they use these few-year-old comic books with these very recent political crap, right,
Hmm. Hmm.
as an example of it's always been in the comics for it to
Right.
be used in an adaptation, right? I will promise you guys now that the female Furies that is being written at the moment is being made to explain away any comments about the female propaganda bullcrap that's going to be in the New Gods movie. Telling you.
Yeah. And Brian Hawkins says, I saw that posted, don't remember where, but didn't bother to click on it. The pic I saw was Peggy Carter dressed like Cap the Cap. Again, I didn't bother to click on it either because I was like, nope, I don't need more of that drama today. I'm sorry, Booster, go
all right,
ahead.
all right. I'm going to throw this out here
Oh,
regarding female Thor. Everyone's really upset about it, but why? Why are you upset about it? I
because
mean,
it's his name,
they
it's
had
not his title, George.
so what? You had Beta Ray Bill take up the mantle
That's
of
right.
Thor.
His name is
You
Beta
had
Ray
a
Bill.
frog.
His name is
Yeah,
not Thor,
how many?
he's Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, but he took up the
So what?
mantle of Thor.
That doesn't matter. Several people have carried Mjolnir. That's not the issue at all. The issue is,
That's
and
it.
don't you remember, George, when they came out with their all new Marvel, and they said that Thor was now going to be a woman, and it wasn't going to change; it was going to be forever. And Thor is now a female. It's not her. It's a title. She is Thor from here on out. Don't you remember all those press releases they did and those interviews? Actually, in our face.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
often do they in our face? But
yeah,
they were
yeah.
in our face.
But again, why are you upset? I mean, why does it? Why is all these stupid decisions upsetting everybody? I mean, they're saying, "Well, that's ruining my childhood." No, your childhood it exists in library. Let them lose their money. Don't be upset about it. In fact, the best thing you can do is not talk about it
Hmm.
and
Well,
let it disappear in its as vaporware.
yeah, but George, it also brings up other interesting conversations. Like, for instance, we have a character, a female character, a female Asgardian character. Her name is Sif. She is actually Thor's wife, right? In the historical
Yeah,
mythology,
and they
right?
have kids.
But
And
no,
they
hold
have
on,
kids.
George. Hold on, George. Let me finish.
Okay.
You got Sith. She actually made it into the movie. For some reason, she disappeared. So it's like, first of all, if you want a female Asgardian who's very capable, you have one, but they don't use them, right? He chooses the villain of Ragnarok to be in charge of Asgard for some reason. She's just a Valkyrie. There's royalty around. Where's Sith? We don't know if she's dead or not. She's a royal. She most certainly would be a first choice of a leader for Asgardians over frickin' Valkyrie, right? But they don't use it. And we see this over and over. There's a lot of, when they want to do a gay character, they don't take a gay character that already exists, they make a new one. They don't, they're always taking and twisting the characters that we love over ones that already exist. And of course, the reason they do that, George, is because they want to destroy your childhood. Now, I've said this several times, and you guys have argued with me about it, but I'm telling you, the whole thing about this feminist SJW crap is about destroying what men love. That's what it's about. That's the core root of it. I don't care anything about creative is being creative and embracing something new and all this yada yada yada. No, it's about man hating. Because if you follow the trend and you look at each different area where it's been going on, games, board games, tabletop games, video gaming, comic books, movie heroes, Star Wars, etc., etc. You can go and watch a bunch of interviews with frickin' Kathleen Kennedy, and she gets up there and specifically says that for traditionally Star Wars is a male demographic, but we're going to change that. We're going to make it for the women. And it's like, all right, so you're going to change everything that men like. So what do men get? You got to take everything. But so what do
Okay.
men get? And hold
Okay.
on, Judge. Now, and it
Okay.
also comes into the idea of this. We all know, because we're all men here, women can't stand and not be involved in what's going on. If you got a bunch of guys talking, some woman comes up and walks up, she wants to get involved. She wants to sit next to it. She wants to be in the room because they can't stand. They're like cats. They're curious and they have to stick their nose in. That's what women do, right? And normally it's not a big deal because we're very happy to have them around. Matter of fact, everything we do is self-deprecating to the female. But they can't let us have a single thing, George. They can't let it.
You
They
know
can't
what?
allow
You
it,
know what?
George.
Okay. There's a revelation here, ladies and gentlemen. Chester, I didn't know you liked Alex Jones.
I do
I'm
like
very
Alex
shocked.
Jones, actually. I think he's
Yeah,
hilarious.
because everything that you just said,
Uh,
Alex Jones has been preaching for the last 5 years
yeah, he's not the only
and
one, George.
talking about the systematic destruction of our culture through entertainment,
Yeah.
and that's what's going on.
Well, am I
And
wrong?
no, you're not wrong, but it's a futile attempt because the inherent human psyche always gravitates toward the what is it, the hero's journey
Yeah.
that we all know that has been in scripture since we could write. So this is an exercise in futility and also wasting money. Eventually, as Dinale would say, the accountants would come to the bosses and say, "You don't have the money to continue pulling this shit off. So either cut it out or do something that will actually make money." It'll take another maybe 5 years for all this to weed out and actually happen. It's already happening now.
Mhm.
I mean, let's. I'll repeat myself again. Captain Marvel. $1 billion movie that no one's talking about. How is that even possible?
Well, Jedi made a
It,
bunch
it
of money
didn't.
too.
Yeah, you know, it's all show. It's all going to disappear. It's and if you really want it to disappear quick, I'm telling you now. I'm telling geeks and gamers, Ethan, neurotic, and everybody else who relishes to discuss all this openly. Don't, don't even talk about it. Let it go. Make it vaporware. Make it
Yeah, I
make
get
it
that
not even
point.
a trending thing on Twitter.
I
What will
get that
happen?
point.
You'll get Star Trek. What's this thing called? Star Trek Discovery, STD. It
Yeah,
sounds
it's
like a
horrible.
disease for crying out
It
loud.
is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and it
Jo-
doesn't even trend on Twitter for crying out loud.
yeah.
That's how bad it is.
Well,
and
Joshua
now we're
Hughes
gonna
says something real funny. He says they're turning the friggin' superheroes gay. Sorry,
well they
I
announced
couldn't
it.
resist. Couldn't resist it.
They announced, and
Yeah,
now
but
we're
see, I
having
don't care about
TP.
that. Why don't they just use the gay characters that already exist or the female characters that already exist? I don't get it. You know,
So now they're giving us TP for our STD.
the TP.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, there's an interesting little thing you can do to understand the difference between the male mind and the female mind. And of course, when we're together, it's a wonderful synergy, right? We are meant to be together and work together because we balance each other, right? But here's a perfect little example. Take a table and take a group of women and a group of men, right? And tell them that they must move the table from one end of the room to the other. Now, what's going to happen is a couple of the men are going to move over. They're going to pick up the table. They're going to move to the other side of the table of the room, and there's probably not a single word has been spoken. They're just going to do it, and because they don't need to communicate about how to pick up a damn table and move it to the other side of the room. But the women are going to sit and debate it for friggin' 15 minutes before anyone decides to do anything, and then there's going to be a bunch of them, catty cornering the thing into the corner, right? This is the base raw understanding of the difference between the two of us. And of course, when you put that together, you get this wonderful balance. But the problem we're having is they're trying to cut men out of it. And these things, when they talk about male tears or kill all men or the kind of things they do, they're not joking. They mean it. They want to remove men from society completely, these insane people. And the problem is the vast majority of people too busy living their life, doing their things to stand up and whack him in the head and say, knock it off. And this is why this vocal minority gets their way. And it's always this way. But right now we're
Can I?
dealing with something super toxic. Go ahead, Pixel.
I actually have to bite my tongue
Oh,
and say I agree with George for once.
oh my God.
You
What?
piece of
What?
crap.
What? What?
So check this out.
We're recording this transmission.
Check this out. So EVS is very notorious for saying hitch a plow to the SJWs and monetize it.
Sure. Yeah.
We're being hitched to their plow, and a lot of times here, they're monetizing. They're mobilizing, and I think they're doing a better job of it through media, at least, monetizing our outrage about their changes.
Mm.
We're
So
sitting here
maybe they
raising our
learned, is
voices,
what you're saying.
throwing fit. They learned. They've been using
Yeah.
us. They've been using us to actually, get people behind their movements and stuff. And it's a large. I mean, because they have the media. They have the media. They have the reach. We're out here in our little corner yelling at them, but they're going, "Look at those guys in the corner with all their BS." They're just completely just attacking us. But we're on the plow. We're just going out there yelling at them, making videos, and we're giving them content to talk about.
Yeah. That's a fair point. I get it. Okay. Next then.
All right. So this is from Variety. How Warner Brothers' new CEO and Sarnoff is approaching the future of media.
Hmm.
So basically, this is more a lot of giving her credential to tell her why she's the right lady for the job, taking over from the now leaving, what is it, Kevin Sujihara?
Sujihara, yeah.
Sujihara? Yeah. And that and specifically they're talking about her connection as a producer with J.J. Abrams, the deal with J.J. Abrams, the talk about Superman, how her father-in-law was the one who convinced director to cast him as Christopher Reeve as Superman, and
What does that
all
have
these
to do with
other.
her?
Exactly. That's my whole point. They're talking a lot, trying to prop her up to say, look, she has all these connections. She's right for the job.
Well, she might be good. It might be perfect for the job. This
Right.
is kind of the problem. We won't know until we see her production. She could be perfect for the job. She seems
Right.
to have credential.
Right. So a lot of this was just kind of promoting her to kind of, I don't know if we were the target audience or the investors or the target audience for this, and say, here, she has connection, she has all this stuff going on. But like as you said, Chester, it's really we now have to wait and see
Yeah.
kind of approach to see.
It sounds
Okay,
like
and that's
they're
pretty sad.
inventing a resume.
Yeah.
Yeah, that so other people did stuff and she just happens to know them. Yeah, that is kind of weird. But it sounds like she
Mhm.
worked for Nickelodeon and she did other things as well. So, we'll see what she does. Warner Brothers certainly needs a better direction. They haven't been doing a great job, particularly with their DC stuff, and their movie stuff hasn't been stellar either. So I don't know. Maybe she's just the right thing. Maybe she's the right ticket. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
But they got a new boss, just like
Yep.
the old boss, I imagine. Anybody have any comments on that?
No, no, we're
No,
good.
no,
All right,
no.
fine. Moving
Okay,
on.
I have a comment.
Uh-huh.
Has anyone seen the Superman versus the Incredible Hulk animated film? I think it's in 5 parts so far on
Oh yeah,
YouTube.
that little thing. Yeah, yeah, the CG thing. Yeah.
Where the guy modeled a really good Christopher Reeve versus a really good model of the Hulk. It looks like Christopher Reeve. It's absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, it's fun.
Imagine that kind of base room talent, was it basement talent, going back in and reworking films and making them awesome.
Well, it's kind of like those old celebrity death matches that MTV used to have, right?
Oh yeah.
It's fun, and there's a lot of them. I've seen a whole bunch of them putting one classic character versus another classic character. Those are fun. I enjoy them. What do you think about those, Pixel?
I like Celebrity Deathmatch. I thought the Hulk versus Superman thing became really redundant, or like repetitive over time. Like the first couple of minutes of it, I was cool with, but then all of a sudden, it's like, man, this thing is just dragging on. When's this fight gonna be over? I don't know. Maybe I just have a short attention span. I think that's probably my problem.
Yeah. Besides, from knowing what we know as nerds, Hulk doesn't stand a chance, dude.
I want to say that, but the lore, I guess, is that Hulk. Well, Hulk can get knocked out somehow, but he always gets stronger. So that's one of those weird kind of things that he always kind of like Doomsday. I would rather
Yeah.
see Doomsday in a Hulk fight.
Yeah, but see, the Hulk can get stronger. He can become something, but Superman is
Yeah,
already it, dude.
true.
You have
Yeah,
something trying to build up to something. You have something that is basically a god. The Hulk, no, when it comes right down to it, no one can beat Superman. I mean,
Well, I,
in
well,
reality.
well, actually, if the Hulk was fighting Superman on the dark side of the Earth, Superman would expend a lot of his energies, and he won't be able to replenish from the sunlight. So the Hulk could actually beat him.
Mm-hmm.
What
Okay.
if Hulk has magic abilities,
Mm-hmm.
green kryptonite,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
a red sun projector on him?
Even then, he wouldn't win. That's the thing about Superman.
Bull!
Anyway,
yeah.
Denali, what is this we're talking about here, dude?
All right. So from superhero hype, Ava Duvani confirms
Duvernay.
that Duvernay confirms New God movie characters. She confirms that Darkseid's going to be in that movie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's being written by Tom King. So what's going to happen is that Darkseid's going to be the hero of that film.
No,
Probably.
Darkseid's going to be angst.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably will be. That's the way it is. Got to make the villains the good guys. And here, how could any self-respecting Barter fan not include the Furies? I'm looking forward to them so much. Okay,
It's
thank you.
happening, boys. Female Furies
Yeah,
by Cecil Capobilucci. It's happening.
yeah. Yeah, this is the sad thing. Jack Kirby's stuff is completely being modernized on both sides. We looked at the picture at the last comic news today with the cast for the Eternals, and we had a nice chuckle. It was a good chuckle. I laughed. And this is just more nonsense, and more particularly because we know this lady. She's not good at what she does. She is a diversity hire for sure. Not all are, but she is. And yeah, I don't have any expectation of this being anything other than an absolute train wreck. So expectations are low. You never know. She might pull it off. But of course, the villain's going to be the good guy. That's what they do these days. It's one again. It's about deconstructing the hero's journey, which they seem to hate. Anybody have any comments on the New Gods by Ava DuVernay?
Always want a New Gods movie.
Uh-huh.
Very badly.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't heard much about it.
Not,
You know?
not like this. Not like this.
yeah. Well, it
Will,
depends.
will they even have the source wall in it? I mean, do they even know what the meaning of the source wall would be?
Oh, I'm sure they got a
If
couple nerds who do. They usually do. Whether they listen to them or not is another point, George. But my question is, are we going to get the old Barda and the Furies or the new Furies? That's my question. If we get the
Uh,
old ones, it'll be fine. But if they're going to give us these new Furies, no, thank you. Right?
you know
So
what
I don't
it's
know.
looking like? This is looking like Dawson's Creek in space.
Oh no, it's horrible. Oh no. Okay, all right. Well, there's not much to talk about this. To be honest, we've kind of talked the new gods and the eternal things to death. I think really what we need to do now is just, unless some big news comes up, we just need to sit back and wait for them to come out and then bask in their glory, I guess. Oh wow! Slick Jimmy is saying the Sentry could mess up Superman, as could Saitama. Well, I think it's once again it's coming into the point of what Superman is, what he represents, right? I don't think in the end you could ever have anything beat Superman because what he is the unbeatable thing. The Sentry is cool. I like them. Saitama, you're talking about One Punch Man, I think. Pretty sure that's who you're talking about. But
yeah.
yeah, I just don't. I don't. It's kind of an irrelevant conversation, but I get you, Slick Jimmy. I get you. All right, well, let's move
Well,
on from this. No one seems to have an opinion on it. So, oh, oh no, oh please no, Denali, what is
Yeah,
this nonsense in front of me?
from the Hollywood Reporter, the Game Nights duos in talk to direct the Dungeon and Dragons movie that
Oh
Paramount's bringing in.
man,
So Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis uh, Delay are in talks to repre- and are to repre- can't talk right now, to replace the Lego director um, on that picture.
Is that the guy
So
from Bones?
now these guys are directors, I believe.
Are you sure?
mhm.
Remember
yeah, yeah, the
the
directors. The directors. It's not. Was it Boreans?
no, no. I'm talking about the counselor that they had to go to.
I'm not sure. Um, I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know. They've been talking about this for a while, and the article even says they've been talking about it for a while. So there's not much here in this article. There's not much meat. I would love to see a great D&D movie. I haven't seen one yet. I don't under. I mean, there was one that was okay, but for some reason they just can't seem to make a D&D movie right. And I think what they miss is you should have a party of adventures starting out. It shouldn't be epic. It should be simple. It should be first level D&D is how they should start it out actually. And I think they would capture the essence of D&D, but they can't do that, and they can't take it seriously enough. They can't get enough money. I mean, we know the one that came out with what's that great actor who played a horrible villain in it? What's his name?
Jeremy Irons. It was the
Jeremy Irons, right?
2000 Dungeons and Dragons, and he has a god awful movie.
It is horrible.
Fantastic actor, just absolutely hamming it up for that movie.
Yeah, but you
Ugh.
have to keep in mind how that movie came to be. There was a guy who loved it, and he went and begged he begged D&D for a long time to make the movie, and it was a shoestring budget movie. So if you take into account the effort and the extreme low budget and where it was coming from, it's actually a pretty good flick from that point of view. But it's not a good flick, and that's because no one takes it seriously. And it's like when I heard Warner Brothers was going to get attached to it, I was like, maybe they will take it seriously for a half a second. But you're putting these comedy dudes in charge of a Dungeons and Dragons movie. It's going to be the same schlock as before. It shouldn't be comedy. I'm telling you. Go first level heroes, just coming out, just coming together. Let's follow their little journey as they fight a few goblins, and let's do some character development and show off what D&D is. But they won't do it. They'll go try to go epic comedy again.
Okay, I have a question for the people who know and love D&D.
hmm
How is D&D, the concept, different from Lord of the Rings?
It's extremely different, George. I mean,
Well, just
the
give me some bullet
general
points.
well, the general idea when Gygax was creating it, he certainly was taking elements from Lord of the Rings, and as time went by, especially with Greenwood and people like that came and got involved, Arn Anderson as well. They certainly took a lot from Lord of the Rings as far as creating the flavor. But D&D is not about the Lord of the Rings. What it's about is a group of people coming together and sharing some adventures and storytelling together. That's what D&D is. Now you could put it in any genre you want. Actually, you could take the system out and you could play anything you want. You don't have to do a Lord of the Rings-esque thing. Now I know a lot of people make that comparison, but beyond the veneer that is on D&D, it is nothing like Lord of the Rings. It's about people trying to tell a story together. It's about trying to come from nothing to something. Lord of the Rings is about this epic adventure to save the world from ultimate evil, and there's a lot of characters involved in that. And in the end, the smallest and the weakest of them is the one who champions the humanity or the world. It's a very different concept. They're not actually related. Like I said, you could chafe off that veneer very easily and throw anything you want on top of it.
Is there any
So,
chance? Is there any
so
chance they're doing the cartoon sort of live action?
I hope not. I hope not. I really, like I said, really what I want them to do is start it with first level characters who had just come together, met in a bar, and they go out taking some small jobs like fighting goblins or kobolds or something like that, some little thing, and it's just the adventure along the way. Someone should use magic missile, and there should be all of these little wink wink things to the D&D players, but done in a fairly serious. I mean, you can have a little bit of comedy like Star Wars type of comedic reliefs throughout the story, but it really needs to be just a first level entry. But the problem is they can't make a movie these days without going epic. I mean, that's kind of interesting thing about Tarantino's movie we're talking about earlier, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Tarantino is one of the few directors these days who seems to be able to just make a movie. It doesn't have to be epic. It doesn't have to, be a box office blockbuster. It's just a movie. He's just telling a story. And I really wish they get back to that, particularly here for Dungeons and Dragons. It needs to start right. You can't keep throwing this epic crap at it because you're not going to strike it. You're not. Because people have an image of what D&D is. So why try to avoid the image of it? Just approach it and go right at it. Be D&D. Be exactly what people expect it to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's gonna be Call the Conqueror all over again.
Right. Yeah. I mean, God, what a horrible movie, dude. What a horrible movie. And of course, it had Sorbo in it, and I like Sorbo as a dude, but man, he's not a great actor. I don't know. Anybody else have anything on this? This probably touches me more than it does anybody else here, I'd assume.
what about Krull, the one in the early '80s?
Oh, that was beautiful and epic.
That
Yeah.
was a D&D movie.
It could have been. It could have been. It could be something that's fantasy based. I mean, it wasn't a perfect movie, but its heart was in the right place. You know what I mean?
What about Willow? Was that a D&D movie?
Not really. It's just a fantasy thing. That's the thing. D&D needs to have the aspect of D&D in it. Otherwise, it's just a fantasy movie. That's the problem. That's why they keep failing. It needs to have low-level adventurers. They need to be talking about leveling up. You need to have the wizards using the classic D&D spells. You need the cleric praying. You have to have the standard four-member crew. You have to have your fighter, rogue, cleric, and wizard, and they need to make little references to leveling up and all the little mechanical aspects of D&D along the way. And it could be fun because no one's really done this very well except for outside of Japan and some of the anime, like Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer is probably the best D&D movie I've ever seen, right? And I mean, I would even make a movie where he goes, you have the fighter and the young fighter, and he charges up to, or she charges up to attack the goblin. And on the side of the screen, we see a dice roll, right? I mean, I would go that camp with it, and I would make it a pure D. I would embrace it 100% and go with it, and it might be a hit because people would think it's quirky and different. You know what I mean? Everything else is just a fantasy movie, and we've been making fantasy movies since the beginning of cinema. D&D is a separate thing. I mean, anybody agree or disagree?
It's just
No, just me. I'm talking to myself. Fine,
Yeah.
fine. Denali.
All right. So here's actually the first trailer, The Irishman, that has Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, Harvey Keitel, and directed by Martin Scorsese.
Those
That's
are all
gonna be on
Italians. Every one of them.
Yeah.
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 What are you trying to say over there? Eh?
Nothing, man. I'm just saying. There was a bunch of Italians trying to make a movie about an Irishman. What the hell?
Those Goombas.
It's
Diddly dip
Goombas.
potatoes. We can make a bloody Irish movie if we want to.
All right, let's watch it. You guys know I love trailers. See if I can get another copyright strike.
Well, pause it.
I'm going to pause it. Oh, and it's set in the. It's a period piece. Sweet.
Hello.
Martin Scorsese. His film's pretty good. You guys see his Priest or
friend.
whatever it was
I
called
got
in
that kid
he's set in Japan. It wasn't bad. Is that Joe Pesci? Oh my God.
Yes.
I was talking to you about here.
Who's been blackballed from
I'm
Hollywood,
gonna
by
put
the
him
way?
on the phone, let you talk to him. Okay?
Why?
Well,
Hello?
I don't want to say that stuff.
Is that
over
Frank?
here.
Yes.
He's only been
Hi,
in
Frank. This is
Scorsese
Jimmy
movies.
Hoffa.
You'll notice he's not been in anything
Glad
else.
to meet you.
Oh, it's Hoffa. Oh, I get it. Okay. So it's talking about how the Italian mafia knocked off Jimmy Hoffa. I get it. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Todd. You were talking about something.
Yeah, Joe Pesci was always troublesome on set
Uh-huh.
and was involved in, of course, that's the cocaine era. But yeah, he got himself blackballed from Hollywood. He's only used by Scorsese.
So a guy who does too many drugs got blackballed by the pedophile network.
Oh my. Oh my. All right. We had to go there.
Well, no, you can't cost every production money because you're late or you can't do your lines, you're too messed up, and he started to do that.
Yeah, that's a problem. I get it. Yeah. Slick Jimmy says, you're spitting in the wind about D&D, Chester. Yeah, I guess I am. Nick W says, they are all really old, but not as old as Chester. Thanks, Nick. Thank you. I'm kind of wondering when I come from, when I was a senator in Rome, it's going to come out of you, you know. But it's so sad. Let's continue
Chester
this trailer.
Busby, I'm a senator from Rome, 2019.
Glad to meet you too, even if it's over the phone. Our friend speaks very highly of you. Thank you.
Uh-oh. Joe
Only
Pesci's
two
looking
people in
perfect,
the
though,
world that want
for the
these,
role. You kiss the ring,
and
you
only
can
one
kiss
of them
it.
is Irish.
I heard you paint houses.
Robert De
No, that was
Niro's.
Trump's fault.
Yes, I do, sir.
Call back to your
Where are you going?
Going to work. Well, you know, there's a situation going on now, Frank.
So who's playing
Big
Hoffa?
business and the government, they're trying to pull us down.
I hope De Niro's
You
not
might
playing
be
Hoffa.
demonstrating a failure to show appreciation.
I know things they don't know I know.
You can't
Huh.
miss the big picture.
Interesting. Now, are they talking about Hoffa or are they talking about Kennedy? Hmm.
Al Pacino is playing Hoffa.
Now it's okay, but it looks like they're talking about but I think the Irishman, is it Hoffa or is he even Irish, or is it
No, no,
Kennedy?
no. No. They're talking about Robert De Niro's character, who's called the Irishman.
Oh my God! All right, but this is interesting. We were talking about people because they died, they became more important than they might have really been. Kennedy, perfect example.
Sooner or later,
Oh no! Oh
everybody
no!
put here as a date.
It,
Who's gonna go?
I don't know if this is sacrilege
You
or
want to be a
not,
part
but
of this fight?
it seems to me that Scorsese seems to have a type of movie he makes. It's like the only thing he can do is mafia movies. What's up with that?
Would you
I
like
was
to
just
be
about
a
to
part
comment.
of this history?
You also did Shutter Island.
Well, you know that
Whatever you need me to do, I'm
Departed is
available.
just a remake of
Oh,
Internal
but
Affairs.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Still liked it. Still thought it was
He
an
likes
excellent
the
movie.
stuff, don't he?
Well, it's got quite the cast, dude. I don't know, Pixel. What do you think? Is Pixel still here?
Pixel is still here.
I am still here. I'm actually getting ready to bail, but yeah, I don't know. So I like Scorsese's movies.
I do too. Yeah.
This one, I'm not sure about. I don't know. It didn't really get my attention all that much.
Well, the first question I would have is why isn't the Irishman Irish? You know, because I've been told several times by other people that if you're not a thing, you can't do that thing, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but of course, I actually think De Niro's played Irishman before in roles, I believe. But yeah, I don't know what to think about it. It's Scorsese though. It'll be well crafted flick for damn sure, and we'll get some great performances because he does pull amazing performances out of his actors. That's another thing we were talking about Tarantino before. Tarantino's another director who loves actors, and he pulls some pretty good performances. That's one thing I can't knock Tarantino for. But I don't know. We'll have to check it out. I'm sure many of us will watch it. It's a Netflix show though. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
interesting that Scorsese would do something for Netflix, seeing as how often they misfire.
Well, this is baffling. Scorsese and J.J. Abrams and a whole bunch of other creatives all praised for Apple when they were launching Apple movies
That's
or
right.
Apple TV content,
Yeah.
and now they're working with Netflix. That kind of goes against the grain of what they were praising.
Well, I think the idea was with Spielberg in particular. What he was saying is the future is video games. This isn't video games, but it is internet. So I don't mind it. We'll see, because Spielberg is pretty good director. Sometimes he's amazing. Scorsese is a solid director, and a lot of those guys are really good. So I'm all for better content being on Netflix, because a lot of the crap on Netflix is crap. It's a
Crappity crap.
teenage crap. It's extremely woke. Netflix is getting more and more woke. I find it harder and harder every month to find something on Netflix to watch, and I have to watch the old stuff because it's just more and more crap. Everything they come out is more crap. And it's like, stop it. Make something good. Have some variety. There's nothing wrong with having SJW content. Go right ahead, but make sure you have something for everyone. And they're forgetting their own philosophy is what's happening, and it's going to hurt them, dude. Because Disney's going to come out swinging. They are, and I guarantee you, Disney will have some of that woke crap, but they'll also have other stuff. Disney is going to be very tactical about it. So Netflix better get themselves under their own feet, man.
They become Blockbuster.
Yeah, De Niro was Irish in Godfellas. There you go. I thought he had. Slick Jimmy says, doesn't matter, Chester. All white people look the same. It's true. It is true. We all look exactly the same. I dropped Netflix. It's a dumpster fire. Unfortunately, yeah. I would drop it myself, but it has a lot of Japanese content on it, and my kids use it. So Yeah, no, it's Nick W says $17 billion loss proves Chester's right about Netflix. Yeah, no, we all know it. We all see it happen in front of us. The Ranch. Oh yeah, yeah, and that didn't do well either. March Hare. But yeah. Anyway, new Scorsese movie. Like I said, I mentioned in the beginning. I should have kind of shut up and mentioned it later. But what was that Japanese movie he made about the priests? Can't remember what it was called. But that's a slow, slow movie. But it's pretty good. It's got that dude who plays what's it, Adam Driver and not Leonardo DiCaprio. It's got the Andrew Garfield, I think it is. And of course, Adam Driver is a really solid actor anyway. But
Hmm.
that Andrew Garfield showed me something in that film that I hadn't seen before. He actually can act. It's kind of like who's the Twilight boy, the shiny vampire boy, new
Robert
Robert
Batman.
Pattinson.
Yeah, the new Batman, right? Um, uh, he
Silent. That's what you're talking about.
Silence, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm surprised because the Japanese didn't take offense to that. Of course, Japanese usually don't take offense, but that movie was a very harsh indictment on the Japanese culture, actually. But who's the boy that plays Twilight? He's the new Batman. What's his name?
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Patterson. If you guys haven't seen The Lighthouse yet, go check that out. If you have any doubts or wonders about Patterson's ability to act, go watch it because damn, dude, that he's the real
Wait,
deal.
wait, wait. Are you saying that he's a good actor?
He's the real deal, George. Yeah, yeah, he is.
Wow. Could you pass on that information to Booster?
I shall. Booster. Patterson can act, dude. He really can, that guy.
What? You mean we took the time to actually watch some of his movies instead
Yeah.
of assuming he was good because he had acted in movies before? Is
Well, I
that
went.
correct, Chester? Am I hearing this correctly?
Well, I was challenged on it, so I said, "All right, let me go see what this guy can do." He's really solid. He's a really good actor, actually. Not a little bit. Yeah. So, yeah.
You can piss off, George.
Oh
Fist bump,
goodness.
Booster. Fist bump.
Thanks, March Air. Yeah, no, seriously, if you guys have any questions about what he can do, you should definitely go check out The Lighthouse. But that doesn't mean he'll be a good Batman. That's a very different type of thing than that. But the problem is what they're going to surround Batman with, where they're going to do. I mean, this sounds like they're doing Batman Year One, which could be fun. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still up in the air about it.
I want to see something more wild, man. I'm done with. We've seen noir Batman, right? We've seen street level Batman. I want to see the wild stuff. I want to see the stuff that like Arkham City was putting out.
Right.
I want to see a big lineup of villains and
How about the Court of Owls?
yeah. Oh, I would love to see the freaking Court of Owls. You
That
kidding
would be
me?
good. It's got a lot of good
That would be
detective stuff in it too.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
I want to see a Batman that actually detects.
Hmm. I mean, he is the world's greatest detective. We forget that sometimes.
Yeah.
But no, I want to see some wild Batman stuff. I want to see Batman as Mick.
Yeah, no, yeah. Evan Vod Skyver has a comment here. He says, "System check. Can anyone get into Hangouts on air?" Well, I know that Hangouts is shutting down as far as the YouTube connection goes. I don't really know anything beyond that, Evan, because what I do, because Pixel set this up for us, the Streamlabs. I use Streamlabs, which is OBS. It's just kind of a user-friendly, boomer-safe OBS, is what it is. And therefore, it doesn't matter what they do with the YouTube because when I stream, what you're seeing here is I'm streaming as if I'm just a single streamer. Right, I'm not doing a Hangouts YouTube, which is what they're killing. I just do a single person stream, and what I'm doing is I'm piping everything through me, the browser, the videos, the Hangouts. So, for when Pixel, can you confirm for me they're not actually shutting Hangouts itself down, right?
That is going away, but it's not going away tomorrow. Hangouts on Air is going to be it's supposed to be end of life tomorrow, but the regular Hangouts is supposed to go until at least October.
Mhm.
They're saying that it's going to be shut down sometime in October, but the way that Google winds up doing things, it may be 2020 before Hangouts completely goes away.
That's right. Yeah. But now, what are they going to replace it with, though?
That's the interesting part. They've got something called Google Chat and something called Google Meet, but those are more like business level services. So I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. I'm not sure. I don't quite understand what they're doing there.
Evan says his Hangouts has been removed. I don't know, dude. I'm using Hangouts right now. We'll see if it does gets weird. I've seen some people trying to go over, like John Mailing is trying to do Skype, which is not the option, guys. If we really have to quickly jump over something, I'd say just use Discord and just stream your Discord through your OBS. I mean, am I
Unfortunately,
wrong? Am I
Discord
wrong,
only
Pixel?
Discord only works for PC.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, why are you using a Mac, you damn artist? But uh, so what would
Skype
you say would be the fair option? Because Skype that is a hog, dude. That is a browser hog.
Skype Zoom is another one. There may be a few other ones out there. I'd have to take a look. I'm not sure, but they don't have a whole lot of really good alternatives at this point.
Mm. Well, I don't. Even if Hangouts goes away, we're going to be able to figure out how to do it because, like I said, if you're just using the YouTube Google Hangouts feature, this is done, right? But what you should do is just switch over to OBS. Like I said, I suggest Streamlabs because it's very boomer friendly. Like I said, Pixel told me about it. He gave me some pointers, and I went and studied for what, a day, 2 days. It wasn't very long, Pixel, and I got it.
Yeah,
So if I can figure it out with a little bit of coaching from Pixel, you guys can figure it out for sure. But that's the easy way because with the Streamlabs, you can pipe anything you want. You could take any type of software you want and you could pipe it through here. That's the handy thing about OBS, right? Discord works on Mac, Rustideo says. Evan says, Chester, you will be unaffected by this. Hangouts on air is not Hangouts.
This is what I
Oh,
keep telling
all right.
people, and
Well,
they
there you go.
think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Every
Well,
ti- oh my
exactly.
god.
Hangouts on air is the way that you launch the Hangout from YouTube. But
That's right.
again, Hangouts is going away in October, like completely, or supposed to be completely going away in October.
Yeah,
But whether or not they do that in time, they're going to be taking their corporate users over to the new stuff first, and then they're going to slowly kill it for the regular users.
It's an absolute boomer deterrent, I say.
it might be,
Yeah.
but
So they try to eliminate the boomer elements of YouTube. Tinfoil
well,
talk, baby.
what they're trying to do, we know that a lot of the maneuvers that Google is doing is intended to shut down the voice and support for Donald Trump. This is a very political move. They're trying to sway the election by shutting up voices. That's what they're doing, and this is why they're coming under so much scrutiny from various political congressional groups around the world, and of course they're starting to get sued because of it. But that's what they're doing. They don't care. They don't care what these countries do because until they come up and break them up as a monopoly or do something like that, they're going to keep pushing their politic. They've proven this to us. They don't care about money. They don't care about any of that. They're going to keep pushing because they're right and the rest of us can go to hell because we're a bunch of Nazis. That's what Google is doing. Right now, what's their ultimate purpose in the long run? I don't know. But I would say that eventually there will be some kind of replacement for Hangouts because they must be doing some kind of work on the YouTube side. But nevertheless, we will figure it out, and it won't be that big a deal. I really don't think so. It'll be hardly a skip at all. Because even if it comes down to it, and I have to use Skype, I'll use Skype. I got a pretty killer machine here, so I can run it. I can do it. But it's not my first choice. Shut up, Booster. Quit talking about me. Oh goodness gracious. Slick Jimmy's angry with you. All right, let's do the.
Jimmy, you can piss off as well.
Oh God, everybody can piss off. Let's look at our last story of today, and then we can finish up here. I'll get out of here. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much about your cookies. Los Angeles Times. My God,
Mhm.
Dinale, you found the most toxic pit of depravity on the planet. What are you doing here? Okay, go ahead.
Right. So Garth Ennis says superheroes run comic. With his boys, he's fighting back.
Okay, well, this is old news, but what's their point here?
They're trying to capitalize on the Amazon The Boys show. and saying he's trying to be like old man, old man Alan Moore, and be controversial and all that junk.
Hmm. Well,
And
we know what The Boys is. It is a political commentary. It is, but the point is, we use it with Grant Morrison, Alan Moore, Garth Ennis here. We use it as an explanation of you can do that, and but you have to do it right, and this is how you do it right. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
they don't realize it, and that's why we've said it, and why there's been articles before saying, the writers and that look at this are taking the wrong lessons from this,
Yeah.
and they're trying to do what they did without understanding why what they did works.
Mhm.
And that's the problem. That's the true problem.
It is, and next week, we're going to probably on Monday next week, the 9 o'clock California show. We're going to talk about The Boys. I wanted to give it a week, let people go and binge it before we start do a spoiler show. This is why we haven't really talked about it directly, and we're going to have a conversation about it because you guys may have know. I don't know if I must have said it, but The Boys is one of my favorite comics of all time. I love that comic book. And we're going to get into it because I'm slightly conflicted on this show because the acting everything about it's good, except for the message and the changes they've done. But we'll get into that on Monday. And if anybody wants to be part of that conversation and have an opinion, have your opinion given on The Boys, just let me know. We'll get you on the show, guys. All right. So yeah, this is something I really don't want to talk about anyway, Denali, today, but we'll save it for Monday. But Garth Ennis is exactly what he wanted. As a matter of fact, the changes he probably isn't very upset about. He probably is happy with the changes, I would assume.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Although he
No,
probably thinks it's too on the nose. I mean, I think the thing with Garth and many of those other writers is they're really good at telling you something without hammering you in the head with it. This show is definitely more on the nose. It's like, don't you get it? Do you get it? Here, let me hit you 5 more times. You get it? It's that kind of thing we see all the time. But anybody have an opinion on this before we get out of here?
No.
No. All
No,
right.
no, I'm good.
All right. Let me
I'm
come
happy.
over here to the other side. All right, guys. Well, Oh God, stop doing that. Interesting show we've had here today. And anybody have any closing comments they want to make? How about you, Pixel? I know you have something you want to. A couple of things you're working on. Go ahead and shill them, dude.
Okay, yeah. Well, Cover Crashers again launches on Friday. Unless I suddenly change my mind, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and go forward with it. And that's a trading card set. You actually get the full set because I'm not going to try to make people buy multiple packs to get them. But currently, it's a 13 card set. It has a bunch of different parodies of various crowdfunded comics that have come out in the past year. Stretch goals will actually add cards to the set up to 18 different cards. I've got some few special perks that are going to come out in the next couple of days. I'm not sure if they're going to come out directly with the campaign or if they're going to be unlocked. I'm still working that little piece out.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be 2 available perks that will allow somebody to get a card put into the set to actually crash their cover or promote their book. Either way they want to do it. That's the big one right there. The other things, again, I talked about earlier was just we've got Insider Magazine, which is coming from the In Comics crew. That's Dr. Wright, me, and a team of I guess there's about 12 to 15 of us now working on this magazine. And all of us are donating our time to get this out to help promote creators, to build up the indie scene. And, Chester here is going to be contributing a story. We've got art from a lot of really awesome people. Todd, I'm looking at the stuff that you've been doing, and I'm talking to the team about putting some of that in. So there's a lot of really good things coming down the line. And, despite all the drama that's happened through various channels and such over the last week and a half or so, I'm committed to still putting out good content and just trying to do the best I can to help other creators.
Rock on. Sounds good, dude. And you do realize that there is a game involved in that Cover Crashers. There is a game you can make out of that, right?
There is. So the reason I didn't do a game with it is because I'm working with other people's properties.
Nice.
I didn't want to monetize it in that way. Now, Critical Snail, the book that some people have seen the art for, and if you go to covercrashers.com, you can get on the mailing list for this. Um, Critical Snail is going to launch as an actual comic, but I'm also working with a 3D modeler to create a. Have you ever played Car Wars? Are you familiar with Car Wars?
Sure.
Tabletop game?
Yeah, Steve Jackson game. Yeah.
Okay, think Car Wars, but with upgraded snails going to battle with each other.
That sounds fun. Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of what we're looking at. And what I've done is I've worked that into the storyline, kind of the origin for the Critical Snail character. The reason why he has the robotic shell and the upgrades and certain things like that are going to tie directly into the way the game is created.
Oh, cool. Well, if you
And
need any mechanical help with that, just let me know.
absolutely.
Yeah. But because there's a game out there called Most Wanted, it's a tabletop board game that
Mhm.
does what you've done with Cover Crashes, but the top, the middle, and the bottom that you choose randomly, or you could put it together if you wanted. Each one of those gives you a certain power ability, and then you can interact with the board game, and they have different scenarios and capers and things like that. It's a fun little whimsical board game, and yours, of course, is not a board game, but it's taking that same approach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And I was taking the stats and kind of stuff like that from the old cards, just trying to give that throwback feel to them. But again, I because it's parody and the way that that fine line is walked when you monetize that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
I just didn't want to go that far. If I build my own product and stuff like that, there's plenty of room for me to do something like this. Remember the collateral damage
Yeah.
book I talked to you about?
Yeah.
DOCD would be perfect for that kind of thing because of all the goofy characters that are created from like the really bad superheroes from like Bakersfield or Fresno versus the cooler superheroes from like New York or Chicago, something like that.
Sure.
That kind of thing I think would fit that genre a little bit better. But yeah, I'm definitely looking at a lot of different ways to attack this. My time is
Yep. No,
is actually
I understand that.
completely tied up. Yeah.
And of course, that idea that you brought up also brings back a classic but wonderful video game called The Heroes of Hoboken, baby. If you haven't seen that, go check it out, man, because that is a great game talking about the B League or possibly the C League. But it's funny. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much,
Nice.
Pixel. Todd, dude, tell them what you got going on.
Well, obviously, currently campaigning is John Malin with Graveyard Shift 2,
Mhm.
and I have 20 pages in that in the supplemental book, and that's sort of a different tier because some of the tiers you can just get Graveyard Shift, but if you want to see my work, make sure you get on one of the tiers that has the supplemental book. Florida Man is sort of looking for a publisher. He's shopping it around. And the new website, YouTube channel that we're creating, IndieCom TV, is so far it's got 21 people involved. A lot of these creators, this is going to be a hub for content and basically shilling each other's books and stuff like that. So that's the idea of it. We're gonna go outside the box. Some of the content will be meant to be funny. We'll try it, see how it works out. Some of it'll just be sort of what you're kind of used to: launch parties, end parties, drink, draw, talk and draws and stuff like that. But we are gonna try some outside the box type of stuff.
Sweet. Sounds good, dude. Awesome. George, your Joe King is still in demand, isn't it?
Yes, it is. 96-page graphic novel, 18 trading cards, and original art, all in a single purchase. It's still available, but it will be pulled come September when I start making the deliveries,
Mhm.
and that will be it for the in-demand store.
Sweet. All right. And Booster, my lovely boy, do you have anything interesting to say?
Booster Kiwi at Twitter and YouTube. Follow it, please.
There you go. Rock on. All right, guys. Well, we very appreciative of you coming in here and joining us as you do every day. You guys are awesome. We had some fun news today, interesting stuff, and I'm going to leave that title. By the way, I'm not going to change it. I'm going to see what happens because YouTube might come and slap at us with that title.
Clickbait,
Uh,
baby.
Alyssa Wong is not Asian. Let's see what happens with that. That's clickbaity for damn sure. But we'll see what happens. But nevertheless, we love you guys coming in here and joining us, giving your opinion, and being part of what we do, man. It's really cool. We do have a laugh at all the idiocy going on in the world, but we also are no drama. We don't get involved in any of that nonsense, and we're not going to. we're going to keep doing what we do and keep sticking to it and see what it turns out in the end, right? We'll find
Drama
out.
free since '93, baby.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, we don't
Mhm.
we have no need for it. But nevertheless, thank you guys very much. And Dinale, take us out of here.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for Comics News today. In a half an hour, it's going to be the Drawn Core Pro Edition
Mhm.
at Mike's Blacklist Universe channel. Join us tomorrow for Comics News Today at 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by the fan edition of Drawn Quarter. I believe this week is Shark Week, if I'm not mistaken.
It is Shark Week.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay.
So,
His favorite. It is Shark
so,
Week, yeah.
so, yep. So they're going to take a bite out of the competition there.
Oh my
Ha.
God.
Ah.
Goodness gracious.
Join my mailing list for the Immortal Mask at dinalescomics@gmail.com. Tell me that you want me to be in the mailing list, and I will do so. The project's going on smoothly, so I'm happy to go for there. But as always, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
Namaste.
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 Later, guys.
Aloha.